Congratulations, Victoria and Mackenzie, Hannah, and Mary Margaret, and Hamilton, Annie, Mary Catherine, Cassidy, and Bobby. Congratulations. You've made it, and you've come this far. There at Lighthouse Classical, you have been the beneficiaries of much. You've received an amazing inheritance of art, music, literature, ideas, of philosophy, science, and mathematics. You've received a tradition of excellence. You've been taught what it means to both have passion and purity. You've learned the essence of chivalry, valor, and godly servant leadership. Mrs. Earle has told me that she's had the privilege of knowing each of you since you were junior hires, which wasn't necessarily a pretty picture back in those days. But she tells me that now you have become remarkable exemplars, sharp arrows to be used of the Lord, sent into this poor fallen world for the work of godliness and service. It's obvious to me, just from the correspondence that I have had with your mentors, that you've been the beneficiaries of an extraordinary web of relationships. You've begun to understand that classical education is about more than just a curriculum. It's about a culture. It's more than just a way of doing. It's a way of living. It's a vision of what God has called us to, rather than a mechanical set of prescriptives that are implemented in our lives. It's about relationships. It's about community. It's about the rich covenant into which we have been grafted by God's good providence. J.R.R. Tolkien, C.S. Lewis, and Charles Williams, and Owen Barfield, Maurice Baring, and Dorothy Sayers had something in common. And it wasn't just that they were remarkable writers of a rich, rich body of work. They all had one mentor, a writing mentor, a thinking mentor. His name was Arthur Quiller Couch. And he taught at Cambridge in the years before World War I and then all the way through to World War II. He said this: "You are indeed the heirs of a remarkable legacy, a legacy that is passed into your hands after no little tumult and travail, a legacy that is the happy result of sacrificial human relations, no less than of stupendous human achievements. It's a legacy that demands of you a lifetime of vigilance and diligence, so that you may in turn pass the fruits of Christian civilization on to succeeding generations." This is the essence of the biblical view, he said, the covenantal view, and the classical view of education. This is the legacy of truth, which you are now the chief beneficiaries. If nothing else, this final year of your equipping and training has provided ample testimony that these things are true. Let us therefore give thanks to the giver of every good and perfect gift. Thanks be to our sovereign God, who, like Aslan, may not be safe, but we know that he is good. One last thing, that is a little note that the ever-elusive poet Tristan Gilbert dropped by as a final gift for you. He wrote, "The glories of the ages past, long held for you in trust, are deeded now for your employ, are seated now in grateful joy. The splendors of the ages past, reserved but for the just. The rich bequests of Christendom, insured against default, are brought to flower on this day, are sought in valor just this way. the vast endowments of Christendom, braced against default. These benedicted majesties, these propitiated certainties, are laid upon your company or stayed upon your destiny. These covenantal indemnities, these providential sureties. Take hold, therefore, of this. And all your own troth, inheritance and sworn relation, the vigilance and vowed succession. Take charge, therefore, of this. In midst of fullest love, this is your legacy of truth. Graduates of Lighthouse Classical Homeschool Academy, God bless you. Go forth and do what you are called to do now that you have begun to seize upon what it is that God has called you to be. Blessings.